So I think I'm going to try something a little bit different with this video, see if you guys like it, see if I like it. But where I'm at right now is I'm kind of at the end of my playing phase with what I'm wanting to do with this tutorial, with this video. And so what ends up, it's kind of to show you what ends up sometimes being created, you know, while I'm actually doing it with you. Sometimes it's quite a bit different than what my thought was, or what I thought I had decided to do before I started that tutorial, or before I started that creation with you. And so we'll see what it ends up being this time around, but still, I'll just show you. So I think I'm done with my playing, and I'm going to be breaking this all apart and getting things ready to start the actual tutorial. And so here, for example, is what I'm doing with this one. I'm going to do 2 necklaces, and I'm really excited because for Gemstone Orphanage, they have, of course, their subscription box that's bi-monthly, that is this Doorstep Baby, and this was my beautiful Doorstep Baby pendant. Look at this time around. Oh, it's just gorgeous. But then they also started for the first time this time doing a companion bundle, and that companion bundle they're calling the little sister. And so I thought it would be fun to dress up my Doorstep Baby and her little sister. And so I'm going to do those 2 necklaces together, I think. And so here's what I was thinking with these, and really today when I started playing, all I kept thinking about was, and I kept going back to, you know, graduated beads, you know, and I'm loving it. So I think both of these necklaces are going to be graduated in that way, where you're seeing here where it goes from smallest up to the big and then back down to small. I don't know why, but today that's where my design eye is going. But this one is going to be a mixed metal. And so I have here, like with the pendant, have that mixed metal, those stacking of bead caps going on that I'm super excited about because I love that. But I'm playing with which one of these kind of spacer options I want to do. So I have my little coil here, but then I thought, you know, since I'm doing that mixed metal, wouldn't it be fun to do my spacer coils like this? And so I'm kind of liking this, where there's a little bit of a bronze, gold, and then bronze. And so I'm not for sure what's going to end up happening, but I'm going to get a couple ready of each of these, and then when I hit play, we'll see what I end up doing. Because that's just the way I do it. I like to have an idea. Now there's some times where I know exactly what it is, and I'm just recreating what I just done because it's spot on exactly what I want. Other times I just play to see where I'm going, what I'm looking for, and to get a generalized idea, and then we knock it out together. You know, so that's this one. That's what I'm thinking of for this one. And then here, that graduation, can't get away from it. I'm telling you, this is where it started, was my playing with my little sister here. But I'm just loving the thought of the kind of icy look in this one, because my beautiful, beautiful little sister, and I haven't named her yet. She just looks so icy to me, really like cold winter scene looking, almost like you're looking down from a plane at a, you know, snowy area with all of these, you know, tops of these trees popping out. So you see that green going through. That's what that reminds me of. And so I pulled in some of my crystals because you know, sometimes when my design thought is going a certain way, even if I try to pull it back and say, no, let's go this way, my mind still takes me right back there. And I don't know if that's what happens to everyone or if that's an ADD thing of mine, but it's so real. And so that's why sometimes I'm like, you know, this wasn't in the collection, but I have to go with it, because I kind of do have to go with it. But here's what I'm looking at for this. And for this one, pretty close to probably spot on what I'm looking for. But I just love that double bead cap situation. I love that graduation. I love the graduation that's also in the crystals. And this strand that I've come up with here, it's feeling really right for my pendant. And so I don't know how I'm going to attach that pendant. I don't know if it's going to be somewhere down here in the middle, if it's going to be a little pull off, but sometimes whenever I'm at the break apart area where I'm taking this apart and getting my bead mat ready to start to hit play to be with you, sometimes that's when that hits me, you know, and then I'll be like, oh, let me get some chain, let me do that, you know. So it's kind of scattered. I'm kind of scattered, but I like to be somewhat prepared whenever I start with you. It's just because I don't want to waste your time, with me going, oh, yes, no, whatever. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. Tell me if you like this or not at the beginning, or if you want me to expand on it, or if you just don't care either way, because that'll help me know if I do it again. So, anywho, we'll be talking to you in a few minutes. Bye. Hello, my friends. Amy with Campbell Creations, and today I am so excited to be working with Gemstone Orphanage, Doorstep Baby, and the new companion bundle, the little sister bundle. So I haven't used my beautiful Doorstep Baby yet, and I'm in love with it. And I thought, today I'm going to do both. I'm going to dress up my Doorstep Baby, and I'm going to dress up her little sister as well. So know with Gemstone Orphanage, this is a subscription program that's every other month, okay? And for the first time, this time around, they decided to put in a companion bundle. So, anyways, with their subscription box and bundle, there's always this kind of, sister or brother or tag-along gemstone to go with. Like here we have Indian Agate or Fancy Jasper. And this time around, it was that tree agate. And I love this anyways. I love that gemstone. And so since that was kind of incorporated and filtered in with the subscription box, that ended up being the companion bundle. And I love that. And so we're going to be working with both. Okay. So this morning, whenever I was designing, graduated, just kept hitting me, no matter how I tried to steer away from it. So both of these necklaces are going to have like graduated little patterns in them because that's just where things were going. And I think it's going to look real pretty. So I'm going to be starting out with the subscription box's little Doorstep Baby. And I just love how it almost looks like clouds are rolling through it, right? But it has those purples that's in there. And I'm in love with it. And so I went through and I had picked out, all the little incorporations that I wanted to go with this. I picked out the specific 8mm and the 6mm and the 4 because I'm really wanting to pull a little bit of that purple out. And whenever we get this, that little bail was silver, and I just kind of painted it black because I knew I didn't want to go silver with this one. Don't know. I just knew I didn't want to go silver. And all I've done with it is I have two little round jump rings. One of them is gold and one of them is antique bronze. Okay, with the little bail that I put on here. And that's the colorway I'm wanting to go on my metals for this one. Is I want that mix, and I want it to be that antique bronze and that antique gold. And I think they're beautiful together. I love how they pop off of each other. So what I'm going to be using for our beading wire is my Soft Flex. This is going to be in that green emerald color in medium. And I have this cut pretty long. I don't know if we're going to use all of it, but this is cut to 24 inches. All right, that's just what happened, and so I'm rolling with it. But I was kind of thinking possibly of having chain kind of extend around the back of the neck and not having beads be the entire necklace. But we'll see what ends up happening as I go along here. Now, I have about 30 minutes before I need to log on for work because this morning I was just playing and then while I was playing I had this live sale for beads going on and got distracted. Imagine that. And then I'm like, oh, I need to do this. So here we go. So what I'm wanting to do is this is gonna be stringing, but I have an incorporation of spacers that I really want to do with this that is a little bit of wire work. And so what I'm looking to do on this one is I have two little groupings that you'll see here, and we're going to make some together. But this first one, I just wanted to be smaller. So it is, two little wraps, and this is, whenever I get the wire, it is called brass, and it's like that antique bronze color. Okay, and it's just two of those, so it's a little thinner. See, it's just two of those go rounds. And then I have this gold, and for the gold, I have 3. Okay, so I have 3 for that one, 2 for this one. I'm going to stack them, and I think it's going to be fun. So why don't we make a couple together, and then we'll see if I end up needing more, and if so, we'll make some more. So I have out 20 gauge wire in both of these colors, okay, both of these metal tones. And so you'll see that brass versus that antique gold there. And so I'm going to come in with my 6-step bell making pliers, okay, and I use that Beadalon brand for mine. And so I'm going to come in here. You want to make sure that this is flush cut at the end, and so I'm going to give it just a fresh flush cut just to be sure. And just to be sure we're on the up and up. And then I'm going to be using the smallest of all of these steps, right? And so for the way I do this, I want that smallest step to be away from me. It's going to be the one furthest away from me. And I'm going to come in here with my wire. And I want to make sure when I put this in here that I'm not feeling this on top. I want it to be down in there. You see how you can't see it when you do that? And we're just going to start wrapping. So when I start to go around, once it gets to the point of me, you know, touching what I've started at, I'm going to come either above it or below it. And in me trying to show you that, I kind of went wonky. And I'm going to go around and I want 3 full loops. So what's going to happen is here I'm at the second, and then I'm going to go toward the third, to where if I kept rolling at that point, I'd be doing 4 wraps. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. So here where I stop, it looks like it is this one and then 3. So it looks like it would be 4, but that's my stopping point. Okay. And on this one, because I got a little wonky with you, I better kind of fix him. That's what I get for talking sometimes, I tell you. Okay. And then I'm just going to cut that off to where both of those openings are about the same area, so that I know those can be placed strategically. I'm going to set that aside. I'm not going to put it with the rest because I'm not done with it yet. So I'm going to give it, just make sure I've got a flush cut to start again. We're going to do 1 more of those. So I'm going to come in here with that smallest step furthest away from me, make sure that I have that all the way down in the groove. I'm just going to go around. And when I get to the point of matching up with that, I'm going to go below it in this instance. Okay, so there's 2, so that would be the start of 3. I'm going to come around until I'm there again, to where now you see, if I was to continue wrapping, I'd be going on a 4th, right? So I'm going to stop right there. I usually give a little lift and cut that off. Now what I'm going to be doing after I do each of these wraps is I usually come in here and make sure if there's any gaps that I straighten the gaps, but then I come in here and I just put it right back on my 6-step, and I just kind of press down where that start and stop is. And that's how I make sure that there's no lip sticking up, right? I'm just kind of squeezing down on it, but then it makes sure that it doesn't distort. It keeps its integrity. It keeps that hold. Okay, so I'm gonna do that on this one as well. And I could do it before I pop it off, totally, but I kind of get in the groove of let's wrap, cut, wrap, cut, and then come back in here and fix them all up. So you do you on there, but that way it stays like that. And so for the smaller ones, we're essentially going to be doing the same thing, but we're stopping at the 2. So I'm going to make sure that I have a good flush cut here. Come in with my bail making pliers. Again, we're going to be on that smallest. Make sure that it's down enough. I'm going to come through here. So there I've met, and I'm going below it. And then for this one, as soon as I come back around here to it, I'm stopping there, because you see that would start a 3rd wrap. I'm stopping at 2. I'm going to give it just a little lift right there before I pop it off. And give that cut. So let's do 1 more. And so there's the couple more for that. Now, I'm going to pop it back in here. And just, you see I'm giving a couple little squeezes. Then go into that one. Kind of going all along that line of where that beginning and ending is. Just giving them some squeezes to keep them down. So it's also making sure it's kind of taking off any burrs if there's any burrs. You know, and if there are any burrs, you could take your little file. If you have a little file, I have a little file, but also my friend Dominique had given me one of these that she uses. She uses this in her work. And so you can just come in here and give it a little, and you could even put it back on here. Look, I come on here, pop it back on. Say I just got done squeezing those down. I could pop the open parts up to the top here. Just make sure that I'm filing that down, but I also don't want to distort my color. Okay, so there's those options. I'm going to be using these as spacers. So I have some here in the gold, and that's the 3 wraps. I have some here in that brass or antique bronze, and that's the 2 wraps. So to start this necklace, let's look at my timing. Okay, I've got some time. Stay up there, little guys, you'll be next. Okay, so for this, what works out really well with this bail is actually if I put a couple of my little hishis in there. So I have some hishis, and so I'm going to grab the little bit of off colors that I have that's in my mix that I have, right? And those work just perfectly under here. You could also use some seed beads. You could use, and I'm pretty sure our little, let's see if these will fit on there. Our little 4mm. Let's see if that goes down in there. Yeah, it does. So you could use a couple of those to pop in there. But for my bail, I need something to stuff it. And so that's what I've decided on. So I took a couple of these that's just that off tempo color. And actually, I think I only need one. Actually, I think I decided not to use these because I changed my bead cap situation. Don't mind me, my friends, don't mind me. I don't think I ended up having one in the middle. We'll see, we'll see. So here's what I'm wanting to do with the bail. I have fun bead caps and I love stacking them. So I have these and I'll link them below. I have these, I got them from Amazon. And then I have these, and they came in a container with all sorts of different little ones. I just love them. So I have both of these, and I'm wanting to pull those in. But yeah, that's why I decided to do that. See, these are going to go down in here. So watch this. When I put on one of these, and then I put on one of these, see what they do there? So that way you don't have to stuff them. If you have cool stacking bead caps, you don't have to necessarily stuff them. Otherwise you want to stuff them. But I really like these on top of this antique bronze because look at that. And that's so cool. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And you know, I wasn't planning on putting anything in front of this until I was, you know, getting all of my beads lined up for, you know, what I was looking for. And so I was getting them all lined up and I was like, oh, I have an idea. So I have an idea of something to hang in front of this. You know, I don't want to take away from the beauty of this, was why originally I'm like, I'm not putting anything in front of that. But I think it might be cool. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. But I'm loving this. I just absolutely love that. And what I was wanting to put here to start everything off is I wanted to use a couple of those nuggets that came in the box. And I love those. And I think these couple that I have that's these purple hues just pull so well with that pendant. So that's what I'm wanting to do. But because this is just going to be at the tip end here, I wanted something to stuff that a little bit. Okay. And so what I'm thinking of is first, I was going to put just a little crimp tube. So these are #1 crimp tubes that I have out here. I was going to put a crimp tube in to go way up in there. And then I was going to do one of these bigger, these came with our little companion bundle, little sister, these seed beads. And so I wanted to put one of those seed beads down in there. Right? So that way there's not this big hollow section behind this. Okay. So it sits there nice, and see how this one, how it would want to be wonky up and down. That way it eliminates that. So I'm going to put in a crimp tube to stuff it, followed by a seed bead. we'll pop this on. And we'll be working up the one side. But here at the bail area, I wanted to go ahead and get both of these here. But isn't that so pretty? And doesn't it really just pop well with that beautiful pendant? I love that. And my stacking is going to almost have no bounds during this necklace. So I'm going to apologize ahead of time, but not apologize too much because I think it's going to be cool. Okay, so I'm kind of just getting my center point here. And I'm going to go ahead and bead bug this one side. That way we don't have to worry about that whole section of strand. Okay, so we're going to work up this one side. Now, I'm stacking. The way I want to stack on this is I'm wanting to pull in, first I'm going to put one of these bumpy bead caps on. And these I get in all the different metal tones on Amazon. I'll have that linked below. And my Amazon link below, it is a affiliate link. So you aren't charged anything more by using my link. Okay, it just gives me credit for saying where I got things, essentially. It's not very good or big affiliate program, but it's something. It's something. So if you use my link, it does help me in some way. So I'd appreciate that. Now, on this, I do want to put on, and I love these little guys. I get these from Etsy, and I'll have my Etsy friend, I think it's Litha Studios. I'm going to have that linked below too. And because I just love these little 4mm filigrees because they work so well, right? Because they're almost the same kind of type. And isn't that just so cool? I love that pop. Okay, so I'm wanting to do that. From here, I want to have fun graduating and I want to go straight into the gemstones. So I'm going to come in here with, I'm going to go ahead and bring these down and I got some extras out because I wanted to choose kind of what I was thinking on my colorway for these. So I have some 4mm. I have some 6mm, as well as these guys up here that wanted to fly around. And then I have my 8mm. Okay, and I know I want to pull some of these in, and I'm going to do that right out the gate. So, see up there, little guy. So I'm going to do a gold bead cap facing away from this that's already there. So I'm going to have that, I'm going to go just straight into it. And the reason why I'm going straight into it when normally I would do a spacer is because I really like that offset of the bronze and then the gold follows up. So I'm going to pop on one of my 4s. I'm not going to bead cap the other side, okay? I'm going to do another one of these 4mm bead caps going away. And I'm going to do a 6. And then next I'm going to be doing the 8mm, but I want that bead cap scenario to be a little more special. So I'm going to do kind of what I did here, or actually what I did there, okay? So I'm going to come in here with my 4mm filigree, followed by that 8. And that's what I'm going to be putting on my 8mm. And for the 8mm, I'm going to do both sides. So I'm going to come back in here with another 7mm, 4mm, and then I'm going to go right back down that line where I'm going to be doing the 6 and then the 4. Okay, so I'll pop on my 6, and at the far end of the 6, I'm going to do a 4mm bead cap, and then I'm going to come in here with my 4. I'm going to do another little bead cap. So that's what I'm looking at. And actually, I might go ahead and do that on the other side just to get this, you know, more so started where I have a focal. So when I'm showing you the one side, at least you see a full focal with it. So yeah, let me do that real quick. So I'm going to bead cap this guy, and he's going to be with a gold and then that antique bronze. I'm going to have that 4mm gold going away. And then we're going to do our 4mm. Ooh, that's cool looking. We'll do that 4. Then another one going away. We'll do that 6. And then I'll come in here with my 4 and 7mm to go on that 8. And I'm wanting to use down here towards the focal the lighter shades that I have. Beautiful. Okay, so I'll just go down the other side. And then we'll do that little 4. Okay, nice. So I'll get kind of the center again. Yeah, actually let's peek at that first, because that is pretty. So that's what we're looking at for that focal. So pretty. So let's bead bug this side. I'm gonna have to get ready to log on. Okay, then we'll do this because I'm gonna be coming right back anyways. You guys aren't gonna know I'm gone all day. So, and why I like doing this, why I wanted to go ahead and do it and get started anyways, is because it's gonna be kind of a busy day. And I wanna make sure, and I have lots of deliveries happening today. I have beads coming today. And so I wanna make sure that no matter what is delivered today, that I have to finish what's on my bead mat, you know, finish this tutorial with you before I can move on. And so I was like, yeah, I definitely need to get this started. So here's where we're at. Whenever we come back, we're gonna be adding to the focal. So what I'm thinking is something to incorporate this guy. And what's fun is I have some little links here that's the same as the links that came with our beautiful little sister. And so I thought that might look kind of cool and pull in that mixed metal. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. Okay, it's Monday, I gotta work. Yuck, I work 11 to 8 today. Ew, ew, ew. So anyways, I'll see you soon. Bye guys. Okay, so it looks like where I left off at was here at the end of this first series. And so I wanted to do maybe a little bit of crystal with the spacers. But I kind of want to test that out a little bit because I mean, it's been all day. I worked all day, done dinner, got the other video released, did all that. And now here I am back at my mat with this beauty that's been started. So that's what I want to do here is test how I want that spacer series to go, which would be next here on this necklace. So I have a head pin and I'm going to test with it. So options. I'm thinking that I wanted one of these little purple rondelles, and then I was going to have the series of one of these that are 2, the 3, and then 2, like this. Right? Now it'll need to be stuffed because you see what happens there. So that's where these come into play here. I think they fit. Maybe not fully. Let's see. What if I did one down here? Didn't like that, you know, to where it's purposeful, and then I put this on top of it. See, I don't want it to make them more wonky. Oh, they just fit. That's why. I mean, look, they just fit. Okay, that may not be too bad. So let's pop another one on there. And actually, that one still is stuck in there. So let's pop this out. Let's put that in and see where we're at. One thing I think I do like is the way it kind of sits over that little crystal there, right? But I think it still might want to be kind of wonky. You see those just fit. That might not be too bad. But do I want anything between this and this? I think I do. So how about, let's get out two options. So I have this option here, actually three options because I'd want to try both sizes. So let me get out the 3mm. Let's get a couple of those over here on the side. The 4s. And then let's get out the gold. There they are. They're in the back of that shelf. So with the 4s, what I'd probably be looking at is the 4mm, and this is, even though it's antiqued, oh, I like the antiqued. Yeah, let's do the 4mm antiqued. We'll try that out. So here's what I'm thinking with that as well. I'm wanting to incorporate this out front. That is a good mix in. So let me try something. All right, so we'll set this aside. Let's come in. Right, because if we did it this way, since this starts with the bronze, but I do want to incorporate a crystal. That's not too shabby at all. It's just enough of a spacing there, you know? I don't hate that, not at all. But let's see. From this then, let's go with the gold. Ooh, unless we did, oh yeah, no, I don't like that gold anyways, like that's too big. What if we come back in with this 3mm, right? And then that leads into the gold. That's a whole lot better. Okay, so then let's bring that little series over, I guess. See how we want to stuff it. I've gotten out some of these, maybe those would work better. Let's start out with a couple of those. I'll do 3. So that's super wonky. Just a moment. I don't think they fill in enough. Let's try these out. Let's see where we're at. So if I pop one on, let's just do the white. One on, and then do one of these. Make sure that it's over it. Does it go all the way over? See, it doesn't really want to. I guess I can force it. See, it's still not really setting right. Give it a chance though. Let's see. See, because this is what I was hoping for. See how the one ends and the other one begins and they can nestle into each other? That is what I was hoping for. So that's helpful. So let's put another one in there. Grab this guy. And then let's go ahead and just like cinch it up, right? So we'll do that other end and see if it ends up settling down right or not. And then we'll know for sure what we're going to do. So then I'm going to pop on the gold that goes right up against this. Come on. And then it's the 3mm. It's not bad. Let's pop on a crystal. It feels too busy. So let's try something else. Okay, so from here we have 3mm on both sides of that crystal, right? So then let's come in with the gold. Let's do another 3mm of the bronze, and let's only do the gold. Let's do the other side and see. Okay, I'm digging that. Let's see how it looks all together. Kind of digging that. Yeah, let's roll with that. Okay, so it doesn't look like we're going to use these bronze ones after all. I'm going to keep a hold of them, or brass ones, whatever we want to call them. I'm going to keep a hold of them in case I change my mind or in case something else in general changes. Okay, so let's get these somewhat out of the way. We need a couple of them. Leave those. Yeah, I'm kind of digging that. Okay, now we're just going to do this again. Okay, so from here, I'm going to go, I did do a bead cap on top of that, so let's do that. So we've got 4mm, and then cap and a 6. Look at that one. then from the 6, we're going into the doubling up for the main 8mm. So we'll do that. Antique bronze, followed by that bigger gold. Come on. And we'll just come right back down. So we'll do that gold. Bronze. Yeah, that'll work. That's kind of cute. Okay, so let's go 6. B cap's going to cap the bottom of it. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and then we'll do that 4. B cap on the bottom. Yeah, no, I did that. Let's see. Back end. Yeah, on the back end. Second guess myself. Yeah, that's cute. It's really cute just on its own. I mean, look at that. Kind of like that on its own. All right, so it's not too shabby. I like it. I like it. All right, let's do another one of these series up here. So I don't think I want to necessarily get away from that. I like it. And I do think I want to keep that up. So I'm going to do another one of these. So then from here, pop on one of the 3s. We'll do the crystals. One of these. Followed by one of these. And we need that one. Easy. It's kind of sticking out of there. I only need one. Let's roll with it and see. And then 3mm, 4mm gold, 3mm crystal, and a 3. I think that looks pretty. Yep, I like. So we'll just do one more series and one more series of this, and then we'll move over to the other side and see what our length looks like. Okay. So I'm going to come right back in. I'm going to do that 4. Okay, on that 4, it should be capped. All right. So we cap that. And then we'll do another for the 6. And then we'll double up for that 8. So we're going with our bronze, followed by that gold. back down the line. So gold, bronze, 6. Yeah, 4. Very cute. And then one more of these. No, I need my 3s. I didn't get out enough, huh? I need to fish for more of those. Oh boy. Wait. Aim. And what did we decide? Just one of them? That one's not one to fit. So let's try a different one. There it goes. Right. Okay, so after him, we're doing back into this. And this guy. That's beautiful. I love the sizing on it, you know? Not too thin, not too thick. Let's see where it would land. Let's see. Oh, that's awesome. So then where I would want that length to be, this is above my collarbone. This is like the nape of my neck above my collarbone. So that works out really well. That would be really good. Let's see. So then we'd be right at, well, that would work. About 13 inches plus this. Well, because we would have the chain around the back. That would work out well. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. So here, let's take a look at what we have. So we're here at our focal. We'll have that one side strand. So what I'll do here real quick is I'm going to knock out the other side of this like I always do, right? I'm going to knock out the other side of this. We'll come back and then we'll verify everything, see what we want to do, and get this guy focaled, closed up, and we'll start on some earrings. Oh yeah, I designed earrings today. Yep. All right, I'll see you in a sec. All right, so I went ahead and did that other side, and then I went ahead and started the closure on one of those sides, okay? we're going to do the other side closure together. We're going to take a peek at it. We're going to get the chain on that we need, and we're going to do this focal. Okay, and we'll knock out a pair of earrings. So I can't wait to like go all through this with you. So what I did was I did the one side. I just kind of let gravity take all the, space out of it. And then I'm winding it up to make sure that I will still have movement, that it won't be a stick straight kind of piece, right? And so from here, I've got a lot of wire left. I'll definitely do some bracelets here in the very near future. So I'm going to pop on my clamshell connector. And at the very tip, whenever I ended this, the very tip there, when I ended it, I just popped on a little spacer just to give that little clean kind of peak finish. Okay, so from here, I'm going to go ahead and grab my crimp tube, number 2 crimp tube. Let's just go down as far as we can, save me a little bit of time. And we're just going to come around and go back up through that crimp tube. Okay, now let's grab my needle nose, and I'm going to be pulling from here to cinch it down, right? So I'm going to hold on here. I'm pulling this one up because it just cinches it down in there. So I know it's going to be nice and snug in there. Before I can then hold it, just pull this up. And I want to pop up a little bit. That's okay. I'm just pushing back down in there. Okay. Then we have that little loop thing that's on the side. But we're going to give a nice little pull after I open this up a little bit more. There we go. We should be good on that spacing. But I'm going to give some insurance. Again, all I'm doing is pulling it down in there more by pulling out on that wire. There we go. Thrust that slack out. Okay, so I'll pull up as I crimp down on this. And even though I've got this doubled, even though I'm planning on using some glue, you don't slack on this spot. Okay, you make sure you have it good and crimped. Make sure there isn't any big gaps up here. So you can just close them up so you see he's in there. And so now what I'll go ahead and do is I will trim off the remainder of this side and the other side. Okay, pretty good piece, right? Okay, that's open, this is open. Let's clip this side. All right, so let's take a peek. And we'll finish it up. So let's be even up here so we have fairness. I think that is beautiful, right? He's a little bit blank here though. We need a little something, so we'll take care of that. Let's first grab the glue. Bring that down under here. Just a little drop. Little drop. Grab my needle nose. I want to make sure that he's in there right. Oh, there he goes. Okay. Make sure we don't have anything on that. We're good there. Do the same over here. He will absolutely do everything in his power to turn on you. Just remind him who the boss is. Turn, in. There we go. All settled. And then we have a security blanket in there too. All right, so this will be good now. And one thing I didn't check is if these are soldered or not. So I'm going to use this chain for the back of the neck. I really like this chain. It's these little bitty ovals, and it's stainless steel. And so on both sides, I left the little O-ring that's in between those ovals. Okay, but we need to cut that in half though. So let's grab a little scrap piece of wire. I'll come down to this end. I'll bring up the other end. And our extra is one of those little O-rings. Easy peasy. So I think the part that connects to the necklace here, if possible, I want to be the two little O-rings, just for cleanness looking, cleanness factor. So let's look at them. Let's see if they are soldered or not. Yeah, they are. They are. Well, that's okay. That's okay. So I do have some jump rings out, just in case. Who's the thinker? And so in that case, I'll go ahead and do the oval part. Okay, I'll do the jump ring to the oval part, and then we'll take a deep down delve look into this thing. One side. Yeah, I think that chain works really well with it, really well with the flow. All right, good stuff. Okay, let me grab a toggle. And I'll just lean right on in here to one of my favorite ones. Yep, yep. So we'll pop those on. And then we need to do this focal. It's not typical that I wait and do the focal at the end. Usually that focal is the first part of the necklace, right? One side. I'm so super curious to see what this next orphan doorstep baby is going to be and what our primary gemstone is going to be. Super excited for that. There we go. Beautiful. So now let's do one final look at it, shall we? Then we'll do that focal and be good. Oh, that's going to lay nice. Okay, so we have that beautiful chain. Comes from that focal. We need something going on here, don't we? So let's do this. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking so far. I was thinking of this. I thought that would meld and mesh really well with the rest of this piece. And since we have these in the silver that we're using on the other necklace, since I had this one, I thought that might be pretty cool, right? So from here, there's a jump ring that would connect to these two guys. A little bitty one. Little bitty one. And this could even go over the top, maybe. I wonder. No, I don't think so. I'm actually not even thinking that now. So I'd want this to come down just a little bit. Okay. And so it'll have to be jump ring twice anyways. Once for the connection up here or around the head of that connection, and the other one into this. Oh, I wish those weren't soldered because I'd use one of those links. You know? Let's get some 3mm. These are 4mm out. So up here on the top, I did a double jump ring, one of each of those metal tones. I don't want to do the same thing here, but I'm thinking the 1 and 2 jump rings, one is gold, one is antique bronze, right? So let's start out with, let's do the antique bronze. It's going to be up here. And actually, I think that one's going to have to be a 4. Now that I got the 3 out. So let's see. I could go, and so from the neck, I could go from these two guys, right? Do that. Let's pop on the 3mm that'll be that connection. Oh, I couldn't see that. Just making sure it's really closed good. And so now you see we have the antique one going this way, and or the bronze one going this way, this way, and then this one's going this way, so it can make the connection inside of this. Surely he has a opening. There we go. I see it. Wowza. It's little. We end up having to do a 4 here. My, oh my. Okay, I was kind of thinking about how it would set to know how I put it on here. Yeah, I'm not thinking 3 is going to work here. Mm-mm. No, we're going to have to make that a 4. Just too little. If that's the case now, let's start here. Sounds like a great idea. What do you say? Wow, so much better. Oh. Ew. Come on, come on. See that? That's needed. Hello. Oh, I did not. Oh, I put it on backwards. That is my luck. Oh, wow, Amy. I was so careful on the other one, and then I just put it on. Flipped. Okay. Oh, this is not happening. Okay, my friends. I apologize, but third time's going to be a charm. Hold on. I need to think this through because I know I just flipped it. You just saw me flip it. This is now an unlucky jump ring. We're going to replace him. And I'm going to cut him off. No, the thing is, I've kind of marred it just a little bit doing that. You know, closing and opening. I don't want it to look like that. And I'll get a jump ring. Or a few. Okay, so we are rolling right back in on this. This is hanging like this, right? So watch as I just come up and through. So it should hang like that, right? Telling you, I thought I did that before, but who knows? Let's make sure it's all the way closed. Okay, try it again. Yes, finally got it. Okay, and then here is our new bud, our new focal. And whenever it hangs, it's gonna look like that. Cute, cute, cute. All right, let's knock out these earrings, then I'll clean up this mat before we start the other one, okay? Put the earrings are going to be really easy and they're cute. So let's grab those. I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay, see why? Here's our first finished earring for this. These came from my friend Nancy Westwood. Beautiful, just beautiful. So we're going to do a little bit of stacking. We're going to use that ear wire that came in this bundle. Just have a head pin here, ball head pin. I want it to be good and straight. So open all this up. I want on the very bottom one of our 4mm bead caps. Okay, it's going to kind of protect a little bit on that polymer clay. It's going to give it a little bit of a cutesy vibe. Then we're going to pop that polymer clay on there. Okay. I will have these linked below. I just got a whole nother shipment of these in because I needed them. These you can bend, you can do whatever you need to do with them. I want this down in here because I want it to be popped up like that. And then I'm going to put an antique bronze in the middle face of it just to fill a little bit of space. And then I'm coming in with a 10mm. This did not come in the box. Okay, this is for my stash, but 10 just works so well for me. So we are pulling in those 2 10s for the earrings. And that is just adorable. And this is the reason why your head pin needs to be straight. If not, he's going to lay to one side. But there's that. Now, on top, I'm going to do the same bead cap action like I do here. All right, so I'm going to do, I didn't get it out. Oof, am I out? No way. Did I have just enough bead caps for those? Oh, I think I did. That's crazy. That was not intended. Trust me, I did not count out those bead caps. Okay. I think we need 1, 2 for good measure. Oh no, there's more. Of course there's more. Silly Sally. Okay. Good, because I needed gold anyways when I got out antique bronze. Jeez. Goofy, 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 I tell ya. Okay, and then we'll get one of our littler that I do believe we're out of. Yeah, okay, we just need a little one. These I get from Etsy. So this antique bronze one is going to go facing away. It's just going to cup onto the bottom of that next bead, right? And I'm using one of these bigger little, they're almost like nuggets, or bigger hishis, bigger rondelles, however you want to put it. Okay, so that has dark on it. The other two will be the bright. So from here, I'm going to go bright. I'm going to grab a 6. No bright yet. What do you think? I'll just go ahead and do this. And pop on a 4. So there's this. Now I think on the tip of this, I want, yep, I do. Just kind of make it all nice and clean. It's so pretty. It's simple, easy, not too overdone. loop in there. Over, round. Here, we'll wrap it up. I think I ended up with almost 4 in the other one. And let's get right up in there. All right, that's good. So all that's going to happen is that's going to connect. That's it. That's all there is to it. That's what it is, and it's gorgeous. Love it. So now I have 2 of those. So pretty, right? Work with me, guys. Yeah. Cute. Okay, I'm going to clean up this mat a little bit, okay? And we're going to come back and knock that one out. All right, so there's a lot more going on this bead mat than what I had originally intended for there to be. Okay, so be aware of that. It's been a little bit. It's been like 2.5 hours since I stopped recording the other necklace because I was like, what about this? What about this? Ooh, what about this? And it just kept going and going. And I was like, stop, just stop, pick up your mat and get recording because it is going to be a very late night and I am hoping to get a few hours sleep. So I need to be efficient. So here's what we're going to be doing. This is going to be fun. I think it's going to be lots of fun. So what I've done with my little sister, I have named her. And what I named her first, I'm going to explain. Well, I love tree agate, okay? But this pendant, it reminds me of, like, I think I said earlier maybe, being up in an airplane and looking down at, a whole snowy section with just some peaks of trees popping up to get that little bit of green that pops through it. That's what it's reminding me of. And so what I'm kind of making on this necklace, with the different crystals that I'm using that I've incorporated, it's just almost like an icy piece, like a winter themed piece, even though it's spring. But I can't help what my, brain does sometimes. And so because of that, because I can't get that off my mind, she is Elsa. I really like that movie, those movies. So her name is Elsa, and I am definitely going to dress her up. I hope I make her really pretty. So I'm going to talk a little bit about all the stuff on the mat, and then I'll talk more as we're going through everything, okay? So lots of good tree agate here. I have 8mm. I have the rondelles, the 8x6 rondelles, the 6mm rounds, the 4mm rounds. I have a couple of the smaller rondelles just in case. I don't know if I'm going to be incorporating them or not. I have here a little bit of faceted green goldstone, and it is just amazing. And I think it's going to pull in possibly a couple different places. Now, again, I may not end up using it. We shall see. For the crystals, I have these. I call them my star cut crystals. Others call them lantern beads, and some others call them pumpkin kind of beads. And I just love them, and they have that like kind of green hue to them. Do you see the green in them? Just a little bit, just a little bit. So I'm pulling those in. I'm pulling these gorgeous, and these are one of my favorite um, English cut crystals. And this is a light vitriol, and so it also is just a little bit green, just a little bit green going through there. But it's not a whole lot of AB flash on it or anything. It's just beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous crystal. And then I'm pulling in these little bicones, and these are faceted bicones that are color lined. And so I'm going with this very light, pale green, because it's going to be very light. You know, our darks are popping in with that tree agate. And then I have 2 more sizes. Okay, so I'm sure you guys know by now, I'm a big fan of having lots of options in the same colorway. And so I always try to do that, right? And so you'll see all these are pretty much the same colorway. So these little 3mm, I just love. And they are a very pale pink. And they are little faceted rounds. And then finally, I have little 2mm. And these little 2mm are also faceted. They are little bitty rondelles, and they are just so pretty. Look at that light going through them. I'm telling you, they are just for little video things. They are mighty pretty, and they pack a mighty punch. And so I think they're going to be incorporated really well today. I think it's going to really work out well. Okay, I have bead caps. We'll talk about those as we go. I'm using these links that came, and I love these links. Super. Oh, I also have some bead frames, pulling in bead frames. Over here, I have some 4mm clear crystal quartz. Those are faceted. They're just stunning. I was going to try to not, but I kind of have to. They are just so good. Okay, I'm pulling those in. I have these little bitty frosted glass bead caps. See those? They're like little flower beads. I'm pulling those in. I have some little seed beads, and these are the, I think, Mayuki seed beads. And they're that hunter green frosted color, so they're the frosted ones. And so I think they're just melding really well. Okay, other than that, you see that I put a couple little dangles together. I don't know, I was playing and I got all caught up in it. And so this is using that gold stone at the bottom, and then followed by one of our little flowers there. And I have a little bead cap here, and I put one of the seed beads up here, and some of my little spacer beads. I don't know if we're using them. I don't know, but we might. The beading wire that I'm using today is Soft Flex Fluorite color in medium. It's gonna be perfect. Now look at these bad boys. They're gonna be a big O star today. I really like these kind of bead caps. They're a double bead cap. These I had gotten from Beadbox Bargains website, but they have them on Amazon. They have them all over the place. And they're just double-sided bead caps. And they're going to look really cool with what's happening in this today. I'm assuming. I'm really thinking so. All right. I have my wire cut to 21 inches. I'm hoping not to use all of it because I don't want it that long, right? And what I've done here with my pretty little sister is I took the bail off. Okay, I took the bail off, took some Rolo chain, and I was like, I'm not going to take this apart. I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it. So I have some Rolo chain. You want to make sure that if you're doing this, your Rolo chain count is an odd number so that you always have a center. Okay, these are little bitty bails that I put to each end. So each of those ends is a little bail. And then because this Rolo chain isn't soldered, right, I can open the links. I took, and I have a couple other links of them here just in case I need them. But instead of using a jump ring, I used first the links of this chain to connect to the bail of this pendant. But then I used another link to connect up here. But then I do have just a couple jump rings down below that just to allow this little link to hang. And we're going to have something hanging from the link as well. And I think I'll go ahead and do a little bitty jump ring instead of these. I think the daintiness will be good for that. So I think that's where we're going to start. All right. So this one, my chain is cut to 17 links in this Rolo chain. So I have mine to 17 links. And then down here I have the one that's connecting, and then I have three 3mm jump rings. Isn't it 3? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, three 3mm jump rings. So what I'm wanting to do is hanging from this, I have a focal idea, okay? And it's pulling in one of these and another one of these, and I'm going to need this guy. And in that, I'm going to pull one of my star cut crystals. I'm going to pull a couple of my crimp tubes. So I have some number 1 crimps. I'm going to pull in a couple of those, and then those are 0.5. Okay. And speaking of the 0.5, I just got some new ones today actually delivered. And so I got these through Amazon, and that's a lot of them. That's a lot. And it makes me happy. So we're good there. Okay, and then I'm going to pull in a couple of these. I think that should do it. Yeah, I think so. If not, we'll change it up, right? Okay, so this link, love this bead frame, love it. What I'm going to do is, for the link, I think I'm going to grab a couple of these as well. So at the end, let's make sure that's closed all the way. That's closed all the way. That's good. Let this be good and straight. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to pop on one of our 0.5 just to give a little something something there at the tip. And then I'm going to do one of the goldstone. I'm going to do another one of these littles. Okay. Now, I'm going to go through the side of the bead frame. And when I start to go through, I'm going to pop it out to where it's sticking out. It goes in one side and sticks out. I'm going to put on one of these number 1 crimps. Okay. And then I'm going to put on this bead. And when I put on this bead, I'm going to actually flip that. I'm going to act as if the bead is going into this bead frame. It's going to be easiest for me, just to make sure that I've got my sizing right. See, because if not, you see how he wants to get caught there. So let me just come back a little bit, and I won't go into it until he's like underneath there. Okay, that way he doesn't kink. And then I need to get this other crimp on the other side. I don't want there to be spacing really. So from here, I have everything on there that needs to be on there. So I'm going to be very careful, very easy, slow, patient. Okay, and get my bead off there. I'm just going to bring him down and let him just pop just under that frame. And I'm going to push him back up, hoping that that little crimp tube stays in there. And it didn't. So let's try this way. And it'll go in there, just be patient with it. It'll be just fine. There we go. I find that the more patient I am with it, the easier going. I'm not trying to force anything, the quicker it happens. Okay, and so on this other side, I'm going to do a little baby crimp, goldstone, and a little baby crimp. That's going to be a pretty little dangle link that's hanging on the front of our pendant. Isn't she a beauty? Now I'm going to incorporate the same little link a couple other places in the necklace, but that's just beautiful and it'll really catch the light. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll get a simple loop going here. And we'll just wrap her right on up. Now, because this crimp tube is on here and it is just teeny tiny, you want to make sure that that is closed all the way, because if not, it's going to get all up in there and all up in its business, and you don't want to mess with that. Okay, now these loops, it doesn't matter if they're absolutely identical right now. Okay, these don't matter because it's just going to be hanging here. And on the smallest, whichever the smallest one is, which is this one, I'm going to come in and on the right side. Nope, other side's open. Okay, come in, I'm going to open this up. I'm just going to pop this little guy on. Make sure it's shut all the way. And on the other side, let's see how we want this to be. So if I come in here, I'm wanting to attach to this little link. And so let's hold her up. That's going to be just right. So it will be like this, right? Because it has to go up and through it. So let's open up this side. And they're both identical. You know, the two sides. So as long as it's not going sideways, it doesn't matter which side it's on. I don't think I'm going to jump ring this one. I could. We'll see. If it doesn't want to lay right, then I'll jump ring it. There he goes. I'm just going to go on that center one down. So you see now this has links on each side. Close them up real good. Okay, so now, come back over here. Now we're going to look at seeing how it's laying. Now this will move, right? So this is fine moving here. I want to look to see whenever this is right, how this bottom one is laying. You see he's a little bit sideways. Okay, so we just need to straighten that out. And it doesn't look like they're identical. So it's laying naturally. Amy did it, you know, little, nope, there he goes. He's laying naturally. Isn't that pretty? Now, let's build our necklace, shall we? So this is going to be connected like this. And I want to make sure, however I connect it on this strand, that it's going to be comfortable. Meaning it is going to be in the way that it wants to lay. Okay, that way it's not kinking up and so that your links aren't looking all funky. And the best way for me to do that is to just pick it up, lay it down, kind of open it up a little bit, and then just let it do what it would naturally do. And you can see based on those links, you see now, the links don't look all funky. That's the way it's going to want to be naturally. So what are we going to do with it? Let's come in here, and I know right in the center above this, I know for that I'm wanting one of these. Actually, it's going to be two of these. Okay, I'm going to have an 8mm in the center. So let's see which is my favorite 8mm here. They're all about the same, so that makes it easy. Okay, so I'm going to have that 8mm down here in the middle. I'm going to have these double-sided bead caps on each side. Okay, so that's our center focal that's above our focal, right? On each side of these, the rondelle looks amazing. So I think I'm wanting to go for the more white rondelles on this one. So I'm going to pop a rondelle on each side. And I'm going to bead cap the other side of that rondelle. So, which one? Probably this one. Yeah. Come on, little guy. Okay. So that's good there. Now, if we're looking here at our sizing, that's going to be just about right, right? So then from here, I'm going to go in and I'm going to pop this through. for this side. So that way I know he's established. And then on this one, I'm going to go ahead and pop it through. And from that point, all I have to do is pull. And he'll right himself. And then I want to take a look at this chain. Does it look natural? Or does it look like it's all kinked up? Looks pretty natural to me, right? So this is going to be our two sides. This is going to be our two sides. I don't know. This is going to be our pendant here and our focal. So you see there's a big open spot in this. We're not going to want that. We want to fill that up with something. Okay. And one thing that I haven't fully determined is, you know, what some of these things will be. That's why I got out so many things. I know there's a couple series that I want for sure. That's going to be happening, and I know what those are. Beyond that, so I know this would fit underneath there. Okay, so if this fits underneath there, one question though is, would it poke out? Or can I get something else kind of nudged up and nuzzled up in there? So let's check that real quick. Yep, he does. He fits really well. Oh, he fits really well. Yeah, and so that's going to keep this from wanting to, you know, slack down or look wonky against everything else. So let's go ahead and do that. I do plan to use these for more than fillers. These are good beads. But they fit. Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be real good. Okay, so from here, I was kind of thinking two different ways. One of the ways I was thinking was incorporating these to where they're, you know, backed up against there and coming out, and it starts the flow of everything. And I do that a lot because I like that look. I was also thinking maybe it would be good to have a crystal on each side because of the difference of the series that I'm going to be starting with from that point. Also, another rondelle on the other side would look really good. I had also brought out and I put up, why am I doing this? I'm going to end up wasting time. I brought out some of these bicones because they nuzzle in there really, really well. These are a little bit bigger. I think I might like these better actually. I haven't tried these. Yeah, and he doesn't nestle in there very well because of that other bead. So let's try something. Let's pop you out, little guy. Hi, peekaboo. There we go. Okay, so let's take that one out. Let's see if this goes in enough to actually, yeah. There we go. There we go. Okay. Well, there's what's going to happen with that. But actually, let's test something. Let's test something. Let's come over here. Okay, I took that off. Let's see how this would nuzzle in there. I'm a big fan of seeing both and then making a determination. Oh, that looks pretty cool too. It doesn't nuzzle in there as well as this one. It brings out the frostiness that I think this piece is going to want. But nope, I think this guy wins. Let me know in the comments if you chose otherwise. I'm curious. I'm always curious, but at the same time, I never want to waste your guys' time, you know? But I was actually urged just this weekend that it is not a waste of time to go through my design process. But I feel like I'm wasting your time, you know? Okay, here we go. All right, so I do like that. I do like that. So that's what we're going to do there. Now, let's put these pretties up. I'm going to have graduation, you know, the graduated little chunks, just like I did on the other necklace. It's something that's I'm all about today for some reason. But I'm trying to determine now if I continued this graduation down, because then it would be a smaller area before we go up to the rest, or if I just start fresh from here on that graduation. I'm leaning towards just starting new graduation right now. Actually, I think that's what I'm going to do. But I think before I do that, I think I want to incorporate these. That's my first time thinking about that. And also, let's see what a 4mm bead cap looks like on the end of this crystal to kind of clean it up. I like it. Okay, let's do that. I don't know why I only got out a couple of those bead caps. I mean, surely I'll need more bead caps than that. Psh, we'll see. We'll see, though. Yeah, I do like that. Okay, so let's get into it, Amy. So let's go ahead and do this goldstone, and maybe this goldstone will be something that's in between those series, because I just like the thought of that dark, because it's going to be so light and pretty and shimmery. I like that. Makes me wonder something real quick. These are some of my super fun little baby 3mm bead caps. These are, here, let me put one on here and I can show you easier because they are just little. They're just little guys. Okay. Wondering if that wouldn't look nice and classy in between like that. Ooh, I like it. I do. Look at there. Oh, I think I do like that. Okay. All right, so let's do that. I'm going to bead bug this side just to get it out of my hair. That way I know we're not going to be slipping and sliding everywhere, but that way I'm not worried about it. Okay, because these make this a mess. It makes me crazy, but that's the way I bead anyway, so it just is what it is. Actually, what I might do is, for the first time ever, I'm thinking about this. I decided to be kind of smart one time. Here we go. That'll work. All right, so let's come up this one side. So on this graduation, I'm wanting to start with one of our little 4mm, and I do think I want the back side of it to be capped. I'm going to need lots more bead caps. That's just silly. Okay, so I'm going to start with that 4. That looks pretty darn cool with that goldstone there. Okay, so I'm going to start with the 4. I just bead capped one side. I think I'm going to do the same thing with my 6s. So, and actually my 6s, yeah. No, my 6s don't come next. Come up here. Oh, I don't think I want to bead cap that guy. Nope, that's crystals. Silly girl. It is my 6s, and I do want to bead cap it. That's what I get for just staring at the crystals. Jeez. Okay, so I'm going to do just the one side there. And then the next one we're going to be up is this guy. And with this guy, I want to double bead cap it, possibly. So if I come in here with these, and I may want my littles, my other littles. I just want it to kind of come out a little bit more, but still be the filigree style. Ooh, hold on, I might have an option. I think that'll be too much. You can try it. There's bigger size too. I think that would definitely be too much. I was thinking about this and what it did. Like if I wanted it to continue throughout. I'll get 2 out just in case it doesn't hurt. Okay, so if I bring this guy out, let's just see what the smaller one looks like. Oh, that would allow me to stuff it with something. I like the thought of that. Oh, I like the thought of that. Okay, this may be seeming cooler than I initially had thought. I don't know if I don't know if I'm wanting big like that though. Let's see. Let's just see. One sec. No, because that takes the focal away from the focal is, and that is the 8mm that's in the center. Yeah, I may revisit those. We'll see. But nah, not right now. Okay, so let's just put that in the right hole. Let's put that rondelle back on there. Okay, and then from here, we are going to bring in this for the 8mm then. Okay, so we'll pop on that 8. Yeah, cute, cute. And then another one on the other side. And then we'll come back down that line. So we'll do little faceted rondelles. And then on the other side of it, I'm going to have those double bead caps. So I'm going to do this bumpy one. Nope. Followed by this other smaller filigree. Yeah, deal. And then we'll do our 6 and bead cap on the back of it. And our 4, the bead cap on the back of it. And then I'm thinking we will do that gold stone after each now. Let's take a peek. He's going to hang off to the side for right now. That's what we're looking at here. Looking for that little series portion there. Yeah, I think that'll be good. So I will do that. I already brought him over. Okay, pop him on. That guy. And then one more. Yeah, I think that's going to be a nice little pop in between the series, because the next series after this is the crystals. Okay, so with the crystals, I'm wanting to do the same graduation. So hold on, I lost them over here, so I may as well utilize them. I need all of you guys. Pretty sure I do. So mind your manners. And then we'll need a couple of these, a couple of these, a couple of these, and one of these with this. Oh yeah, it's gonna look cool. Okay, so we're gonna pop on this little bitty 2mm. And this wire is crucial on the color size, or on the color of it, because of how it's going to be kind of incorporate with those crystals. So I also had out the green garnet color, and I was like, no, 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 too dark. I'm wanting to keep that light. If I want something dark, I want it to be the pops that I want it to have, you know. So I'm going to pop this on. I'm going to put this one on too, and see, should I put something between those? I think it would be like too bam, like in your face. I don't want it to be in your face. Let's see. This is the next one on the list here. It's good. And then if I just put one of these on, make it very simple with the crystals, maybe, right? Because of what's about to happen. Okay, so if I just pop one on this side, so we're going there. Pop this one here. Then I'm going to come in with probably one of our baby crimps. And I'm going to do that crystal in here. Okay, so I'm going to put that beading wire through there and pop it out the center. I'm going to need 2 of these and a crystal. on one of those. And then get that crystal ready. Bring this kind of back. Go in through that crystal. Now I can grab my other little crimp tube here. Let's see how close I can come, if I can still get it in there real close to you guys. Because you just want to be patient, right? And a lot of times my patience is if I lay it down, but let's see what we can do. So I'm just going to kind of keep a hold of him so he stays set steady, and I have my thumbnail there on the top of that crimp tube. So I'm just going to bring this wire out. When I get real close, I'm going to go real slow. There, you'll kind of feel that click. And then you're finding your hole. Hopefully you're still in your crimp tube. Nope, nope, nope. Stay there, buddy. Nope, I'm still out. And I'm out again. Oh, he's a stubborn little one. Let me lay it down, guys. I don't want to lose that crap. I usually am not even looking at it whenever I actually get it, because I'm just feeling it. And it's a lot easier whenever you don't have like a piece of equipment in your way to see it. Just barely pulling it out. I'll lose my seaweed. Oh, this one may be my most difficult. Okay, hold on. Seriously, it doesn't take that long. Coming from the back this time. Got it. It's almost like as soon as I'm finally like, okay, it doesn't matter, then I'll get it. So that's the center of that crystal series that I'm looking for. So this is the big statement for the crystal one. This is the big statement for the gemstone one, right? So then I'm going to come in here and do another little baby crimp. I'm just going to go back down that line. That's really all that is. So I'll do my English cut. I don't know how that swapped. So I'm going to put that back on and then go for my English cut. I pop on a B cap. There you guys are, right next to where you're supposed to be. Yeah, I'm going to need a few of those. Okay, and these are the 4mm ones I get on Amazon, and also now Beadbox Bargains website is selling those. So that's exciting. And go down that line. So here now I'm doing that color line bicone, followed by little 3mm faceted guy, followed by our little bitty 2mm. And its hole does fit really well actually in medium soft flex. So that's a big deal. So here we go for that series. I think I'm going to do another goldstone. I'm liking that. Yeah, I'm liking that a lot. Okay, so let's do one more of these series here. So I'll come in with a, oh, I need my B cap on it, right? Yeah. And do that 4. Like I had to. Followed by our 6. Followed by double B cap. Oh, so I need some of those too. I really don't know why I only got a couple out. That was just silly. All right, so we're going to double B cap that. So we're going to do one of these filigree on top of one of these. And we'll do one of our little faceted rondelles. So good. And then 2 of these. We're going to be doing, we'll get more of these, and I think more bead frames. Okay, so pop that on. We'll get our 8mm and our 8mm beads. I got just enough to make one side of a necklace, you know. Okay, so then on the other side, doing the same thing. So now we'll just come back down here with a faceted rondelle, double bead cap hem, pop in our 6 and our 4, bead cap in that 6 at the bottom, 4, cap in it as well. Good stuff. And then from here, I'm going to do another goldstone. That is super cute. Now, I think I'm going to do one more of these to finish this off. So I think I might finish it off with these, but typically I like to finish it off the way I started it. Let me see what that length would be, because I know I want this pendant to hit. So let's see where we are with that. Yeah, we're done. If we put on some crystals, we can put on some crystals, but we're not doing a whole series because I need about like maybe that much more. That's it. Okay, so I'll hang tight completely on that. Okay, and then we'll decide what we want to do with it, and I will start working on this other side. So as I kind of always do, it's kind of becoming a thing. It just works that way for me. I don't know. Tell me if it works for you. If we do one side together and then I pause this, let my phone cool down, and I knock out this other side, and then we come back together, you know? Let me know. But for right now, I'll be right back. All right, so essentially I'm at the same spot that I was last time with the other necklace, okay? So I've closed up one side. Well, I've gotten it almost finished. It's the clamshell still open because we're going to super glue that. Let gravity take all of the gaps away, and now I just wound him up to make sure he won't be too tight. And we're going to do that last crimp tube, that last clamshell. Now, the way I ended this is after this, which is the area that we were, left at here, I went ahead and did the first part of that crystal series. So I did the first 3, and then I just popped one of those number 1 crimp tubes on top. Okay, that's all it is. And it doesn't need much more length, but I didn't want to do a whole new series or have crystals lining the back of the neck. I just wasn't feeling it. And so we're going to do a little bit of chain, which is then helping because it's incorporated from the focal all the way back. Yeah. Okay, so I have my clamshell on there. I'll come in with my crimp tube. I have quite a bit of room here. Okay, so I'm going to come down as low as I really can. I'll wind that back through. Grab hold of that tail. I think for this one, hold on to it. Make sure it stays down in there low. Okay, so she's in there. Another good tight tug, just to make sure it's nice and in there. And I'm going to crimp it down good. Not trying to break my wire here, but trying to get it nice and flanged. Okay, so then we'll trim that off. We'll get out that super glue for both of these ends. Looky there. Pretty, pretty. Yeah, loving it. Loving it, loving it. Okay, stop staring at me. Let's get going. Do I not have paper towel this time? Huh. Yes, I do. It fell off my little side table. All right. This one here. These out of the way. I did cut that Rolo chain. I'm keeping it on Rolo chain because that's Rolo chain that's down here, and so it just keeps it consistent. Matchy matchy. Get him in there the way I want him to be before glue. I've had absolutely no problems with this glue. I like it. Even though you don't see anything on it, still give it a wipe. I also do that and I give it a little extra pinch just in case something oozes out. That one's good. Nice and closed. Good stuff. And then we'll just go right on into getting that toggle on it. So I'm using this pretty little thing. Cute, cute. And I have 4mm jump rings. So let's get my other handy dandy pliers. And I'll tell you, I had done an earring because we're going to do earrings next. I had done one of those earrings, and I had done one of those earrings before changing things, before my brain was like, "Ooh, try this, try this, try this." And so now I'm like, "Oh, I'm doing another pair of earrings," but I'm out of time. I'm out of time. I need to hustle this along in order to get a couple hours sleep. But I am so happy I got these done. I have so many things to do. So many design ideas that I haven't been able to record for you guys. It just, Keep busy. But life is good. It's good busy. It's not a bad busy. I'm not popular enough on YouTube yet, so I still have to have my day job. But you know, the dream, right? Nope, little guy. There you are. I'm super excited about the deals I'm able to find with these bead hauls. And it's stocking everything up really well for my 2-year anniversary. Um, and I'm going to be announcing that pretty soon. It'll probably be next week. That'll give the first big heads up on what exactly is going to be happening. I'm just real excited about it. I think it's a good plan and fun and fun. Oh, you guys, I'm a couple hundred away from 7,000 subscribers in 2 years. Like, I'm not that cool. I'm pretty goofy, actually. But I am so happy you're here with me. I'm so stinking happy you're here with me. It is just amazing. Oh, and the friendships and the respect for all of these amazing, amazing creators in our industry. I mean, it is just, I love, love, love our community. I love how supportive everyone is to each other. You know, it's such a big deal. It is just such a big deal. You know, in so many other niches, you know, content creators are at each other's throat, you know, trying to outdo the other guy, trying to outdo the other guy, try to get all those subscribers. No, that's not what we're about. We're about all of us being here for you. Period. We get to have fun in the process. We get to create, and we get to, you know, do all these fun things. And we get to, you know, build a family. It's just what keeps wanting to come out of my mouth because that's what it feels like. And I love that, you guys. Goodness, I couldn't tell you how much I love that. Oh, but I also love this necklace. What do you think? What do you think? Gemstone Orphanage is so awesome, you guys. I mean, bi-monthly subscription that you get so many amazing gemstones and findings and extra pieces and to incorporate, and it is just so much fun. And now with this little sister, yeah, looky there. Looky there. And if you guys have not been to Gemstone Orphanage Facebook group, you absolutely have to. I'll have their Facebook group listed in the description box below. You definitely should check that out. I mean, they do these really cool like contests and, you know, just out of the box kind of things too, you know, with your stash and with processes, and tell us a story with your piece. And it's just, they're super cool. You have to check them out. You've got to check them out. And I'm not just saying that because, you know, they're one of my favorites. I'm saying that because you got to check them out. All right, so my spiel's over. Let's make a pair of earrings. So I decided on these earrings before I changed this design, but I still think they'll be just fine. And they're cute. I love the ear wires that we got this in this box. Look at this one, that cubic zirconia up there. Cute, huh? It still goes with, totally still goes with. It's easy, it's fun, it's cute, it's long and dangly. It's not shoulder dusters, but it's long and dangly, and I think it's cool. I do. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start with heart. That heart's going to be on this ball head pin. And so, love these, love them. So we're going to pop that heart right down onto that ball. And then, yeah, we're going to have a little crimp here up above it, just kind of match, right? And then those same bead caps that we used with the goldstone here, we're going to use, it's just going to sit on top. And he's going to have a little seed bead in there. I wasn't thinking about the goldstone at the time, or else that would have been really cool, right? Okay, so here's this. I'm going to put a little crimp right on top of that as well. So grab one here. Nope, that's not a crimp. Where'd you go, guys? There you are. So we have that little crimp. And, I was wondering. Yeah, I think it's the littler one I used on top. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Oops. Let's make a little wrap loop for this guy to connect to that guy. Just a little one. Wanting to be up off that crimp tube there. Actually, I might just leave that on. Flip her over. Almost lose her in the meantime. Okay. Flip that off. Lift that off a little bit. Look where my seed bead ended up. Amy Shell. Amy Shell, Amy Shell. Goofball. Alright. Can't redo it right now because I don't have time, but I will be redoing it because I am goofy. Just goofy. Alright, so for the other part, I have here just a short little head pin, and I have some English cut. So I'm going to put an English cut on there. So first thing I'm going to do though is get a little 4mm bead cap here on the bottom of that. I think we can do the top too. Yeah. Then we have just that little English cut, and then one little 4mm. So we'll pop on this English cut crystal, and on the English cut crystal, nope, nothing. And then we'll do a little bead cap on the top and bottom of our little 4mm. Then doesn't look like, nope, no little crimp at the top of that one. Probably because if you look here, we're out of room. That'd be a good reason. But I can get a wrap loop out of that bad boy. Sure, I can't. Not a wrap loop, sorry. I can get a simple loop out of that bad boy, surely. Woohoo! These are my new round nose pliers, and I really like them. They are casual comfort, and the reason why I'm not using the Xeron ones anymore is because the tips of the Xeron ones they just weren't strong like this. They would move, and so I sent those to Nick, or to Dominique Rochelle Jewelry. So got those to her. Just gonna connect here to a little heart that has the crimp tube on the veil. Yeah, close that all the way. Super cute otherwise. And then we'll pop this on. Get a little ear wire on there. Don't need much, but more than I've done. Typically I would do this instead of this, but ooh, that's tight fit. Super cute. Little earring. Love that. Love that. I'm going to take some pictures of these bad boys, and then I'm going to go and get about, as it appears, it would be about 2.5 hours sleep. So, yay. Hey, though, it's worth it. This night was so much fun. This was a blast. And I just got to playing with them, and then I realized the time, and I was like, what am I doing? Crazy girl. Oh, my friends, I appreciate you. I love having you here with me. You know, this 2 year anniversary is coming up and it's going to be fun. So share my channel. Please share if you would be so kind as to hype this. I would love that. But like, share, get notifications, and say hi. Thank you so much. I'll be back here soon. I got lots happening. Until then, though, bye for now.